I'm Heather, and for this discussion, I chose an article that talks about a former political editor at Fox News. His name's Chris Stirewalt, and him and quite a few other staffers were actually laid off recently. They Fox News claims that it was because they are restructuring, but it is heavily speculated, I would say, that it was because he was reporting during the election and called Biden as the winner of Arizona. So there was a lot of problems that stemmed from that. I mean, insiders described it as a bloodbath, to say the least. He was really hit heavy with a lot of negative comments over that. So I feel like this is a really good article to relate to a lot of things in our reading this week. Um, this was all very controversial because this is a big deal with the election and everything, and people are very opinionated on it, especially people at Fox News. So President Donald Trump actually was so angered by the Arizona call that he made that his officials called and desperately urged Fox to retract the statement. I consider that page 119 a communication norm because the president and his officials felt that it was appropriate to call a news station and ask them to filter out what to say, even though it was, news, and I feel like we shouldn't filter out news. And do I think that's a communication norm? No, but I don't think that they would have done it if they didn't think that was normal. They obviously didn't care if anybody else found out that they did that because nobody thought that was that weird, probably at Fox News, or they would have said something about it on that channel more than likely. It's very bureaucratic because, top down hierarchical. You could consider it formal communication because the definition that I kind of gathered from our readings is it's defined as the norm, rules, guidelines that an organization establishes for general communicative behaviors. And I'm going to cite that really quick too. Page 119 as well. So these rules seem kind of weird to me that somebody would think that was normal, but Trump's officials thought it was okay. And more than one person in the administration thought it was okay to do that, and it was within the general guidelines. Into that, this is a prime example of top-down and communication, downward communication, because it consists of messages that begin at the top of an organization's hierarchical level. It was transferred down throughout the remaining lower ranks. I mean, you could consider the president to be at the top of a ranking, in politics, I would say so. Then page 120 is where I found that definition for downward communication. Stirewalt refused to reverse his support for the call, despite the other other hosts' criticism of it. So that really angered him. They were trying to push him in, or really angered Donald Trump, and I feel like they were trying to push him into defensive silence, because they were trying to make him fear for his job, which he ultimately did lose. Grapevines, I would say it's a big thing of this. The whole election thing, too, because, you can consider, the GOP and all that kind of side of things, Fox News, kind of an organization. So information runs quickly through there. Some of the information's inaccurate. And I'm trying to be bipartisan here because actually I'm an independent, but it seems very, I don't know, like a little inaccurate and ran that way. So anyways, I think that kind of sums up everything. I also want to side note and say that I actually found this article that popped up. I tried to look at a few different ones, and some of them were from CNN, and one was from Vanity Fair. So I tried to find a pretty bipartisan news group that wasn't completely against Fox News for my reporting of this. So thank you.